Hey everybody, welcome to another edition, living room edition of Baseball Night in New York. It's brought to you by your Tri-State Cadillac dealers, Doug Williams alongside Anthony Recker and Andy Martino. Happy Monday to everybody out there. Guys, thanks for being here. Today is going to bring back one of our favorite formerly in-studio segments. So let's go.
Do you want the noise?
Yeah. Can we add that to the montage coming in? Just do you want the noise? Just add that.
That hurts.
Couldn't give this a shorter if I tried.
Can I hold it any longer? Oh gosh, now I'm getting...
Yes!
All right, it's basically the premise of this. If you haven't seen it already, or if me just doing that or that montage did not give you an idea, which it would make sense. It's very confusing in practice, and frankly, we always end up confusing ourselves. Is you don't feel wild about the topic or the idea that I'm presenting. Means you're into it. You're on the positive answer side of that particular question or topic. Again, we always end up confusing ourselves here. Anthony Recker, we'll begin with you for our first topic. The Yankees have the most to lose if somehow the 2020 season is canceled.
I mean, I could see how people might say that just because they were, supposed to be, a potential World Series, team. But I think Major League Baseball in general just has so much to lose. Every team has so much to lose. These guys are going to be, these teams essentially, because of the agreement, and these players are going to have their service time. All these teams are going to miss out on a year of some of these young guys, whether it's Aaron Judge or Gleyber Torres, or if you go to the Mets or even some of the other teams, there's so many young guys that they're going to lose 1 year of control over. So that's a big loss.
Andy?
Yeah, I'm with Anthony on that. It's not that the Yankees don't have a lot to lose, because their championship aspirations for this year involve having Tanaka, LeMahieu, and Paxton, all of whom will be free agents at the end of this season or non-season. Either way, they're going to be free agents. But I agree with Anthony that the landscape across baseball is so bleak if this doomsday scenario happens that it's hard to evaluate. Everyone's a loser, but I will say that one team in particularly bad shape if the season is not played will be the Los Angeles Dodgers, because they traded Alex Verdugo to get Mookie Betts. Mookie Betts would never be a Dodger unless, of course, he resigns, but that's a different deal. That's not the trade. And the Dodgers were supposed to enjoy the revenue and experience of hosting the All-Star game, which I would be surprised if that happened at this point. So that's a double whammy.
Wow, yeah.
And event side.
There are so many potential results of this bad news that may or may not be coming. But my answer would be, and I think it would be because the Yankees and the Dodgers, I think, would share my answer here. The Dodgers for the answers that are the reasons that Andy gave, but also because they're one of the two teams. I would say the Yankees and the Dodgers are the two teams that have chased championships for the past handful of years, have not gotten their chance yet. And with what happened to the Astros this offseason, with the fact that the Red Sox are kind of rebuilding, this really seemed like the Yankees' one opportunity in their window, their championship window, to finally get it. Andy, we'll begin with you for our second topic. Losing Noah Syndergaard is a significant blow to the Mets' pennant hopes. I'm
going to go with right in the middle. It was a tough one, but Noah Syndergaard, not to take anything away from him, but the results are more easily replaceable than his presence. It's not impossible to think that some combination of Porcello, Stroman, Matz, like guys can put together some approximation of what you would get from Syndergaard.
I certainly understand where Martino's coming from here, because I don't completely disagree with what he said. I would err more on the side of because this is a team that is kind of built to win now, and it is kind of built around the rotation. Their defense isn't the best. They're going to put up some runs. They need some quality pitching out there. Not to say that they don't have it, they do, and they can definitely make it up. But I think a lot of people were expecting this to be the year. Syndergaard stayed healthy for the most part last year. We were hoping to see him put together back-to-back years. He didn't have a great year last year, but maybe with all that, getting 30-plus starts and then having a chance to do it again, a lot of people were expecting him to have a bounce-back bigger year. And I think that in and of itself, because the team was expecting that too, for him to be that number 2 all year round.
Yeah, I'd go just because of what you just said, Anthony. I had predicted that Syndergaard would have a big year, and based on last season, the Mets can win despite his inconsistencies. So in that way, you think they'd be okay if they don't have him. But I had predicted the Mets would win the division. I had predicted that they'd do that partially because Syndergaard was going to have a big year. So I can't say it doesn't matter now. Anthony, Andy calling the Mets black jerseys trash is a reasonable take. Or nah.
I mean, I really, not that I love the black jerseys, because I don't love them, but this is one of those things you either love them or hate them. We've talked about this. It's polarizing. And I'm actually one of those few that would be kind of in the middle, but I lean towards liking them. And I mean, just to call them trash, I mean, those things, there's a lot of people that love those things, including the players right now.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with Anthony here. I think it's journalism at its worst. You have a legitimate point, and as Anthony said, you got a writer who obviously feels something, expressed an opinion, but did it in such a way that was intended to polarize and offend and really just generate clicks, which is cheap and insults our intelligence as a reading public.
I appreciate you being able to really analyze that from a third-party perspective almost. And I
mean, it's just obviously, again, you take a legitimate opinion and you cast it in a way that's going to alienate people and fans who care about this. It's just not right.
Okay, this one, I'm curious to hear your guys' answers. Anthony, Doug should shave his head. That's how it's written on our outline. So I'll read it as if Doug is just a person.
Yeah, I mean, you're not a real person. You're a fake person. So that's okay. Yeah.
Well, I am me.
I'm gonna go.
So I decided not to say I should shave my head. Doug should shave his head.
I'm gonna go because I mean, let's be honest. We would all love to see this, Doug. Not to mention the fact that, hey, you never know, if you shave your head, you keep the hair, you donate it to a good cause, Doug. I mean, there's a lot of things like that out there that would be great. What's that?
Do I have enough hair to donate it?
Oh, Doug, you have a beautiful head of brown hair. I mean, any amount could be worth donating.
That compliment.
Absolutely, Doug. I mean, the beautiful hair, Doug. It's long, it's luscious, it flows, got a little volume to it. We're getting intense here, but I like it. I like the idea, and Doug, to be honest with you, I just want to see what kind of head you got.
Andy?
I'm going to go because as much as I would like to see it as your friend, I think it would be hideous. I'm looking at your now, and it's the wrong shape for that. Mine is too, which is a bummer because frankly, the haircut issue is going to become a major societal problem within a couple of weeks. Thank God I got one before this all happened. I know it's not the biggest problem facing all of us, but we're all gonna be shaggy pretty soon. What do you do?
It won't surprise you to know that my answer here is for a couple reasons. I shaved my head a couple times in high school. Baseball team, we all shaved our heads when we went down to Florida for spring training, and it did not look great. Secondly, my sister gave me a haircut yesterday, and this was a big moment in our family. I asked my dad and my sister to work together to try and cut it, and Allison kind of took the reins, and I think it went well.
That's what it's going to come down to. Either that, or I'm just going to have to learn to do it myself, which I am very scared to do. You ever try to do something while you're looking in the mirror at yourself?
Everything's backwards.
I get
backwards.
Confused.
You end up, if something goes terribly wrong, you're going to end up with an earlobe sliced in half. All right, well, always delivers. Like the lineup card, like rapid fire, we always have fun, but it's the participation and the buy-in of you two that made this one as entertaining as ever. Anthony Recker.
No, it was your hosting.
Thank you. And my luscious hair. Anthony Recker, Andy Martino, some compliments on a Monday. What could be better than that? We appreciate it. This has been another living room edition of Baseball Night in New York, brought to you by your Tri-State Cadillac dealers. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow.